Well, my name is Mark. I'm the proprietor of Buffalo Bike Tours. We are the city's only tour operator that focuses on tours by bicycle. We're passionate about bicycles, we're passionate about Buffalo, and together we are dedicated to celebrating our city's proud legacy and stories with people on two wheels. So I started in 2018 with a tour called the B-Sides Ride, which is a tour of our social activist history here. And it was a donation-based tour. I started just flyering the slow rolls, telephone poles, kind of like DIY, grassroots. And it was mostly locals. And then as we kind of became known, really pushed the TripAdvisor and Google reviews, and people started coming from out of town. So 2019 was our first full year of operation. 2020, we had some big plans. Things got a little bit off the rails with COVID. But last year I started offering food tours by bike. So my kind of background here, I grew up in Buffalo, studied film and video at the University of Buffalo, discovered working at WTV, corporate television wasn't for me. I went back to get my master's in arts administration, nonprofit management at the University of Oregon, and then came back to Buffalo a few years ago. So while in Portland and Seattle, had the experience of designing tours and community-based programming, and decided to kind of bring that back to Buffalo to be close to my family and have a more reasonable way of life. It was just getting so expensive out in the Pacific Northwest. So started doing a tour called the Wing Ride. So kind of the very first thing that a tourist will ask very often after taking one of my tours is, where is the best place to go get chicken wings in Buffalo? And I started doing a tour just of like wing hotspots, Lenova, Gene McCarthy's, some of the well-known wing places. And that was kind of a first brush. I definitely knew John Young's story, and over the winter, that gives us a lot of time here in Buffalo to focus on winter projects, did a little bit more digging into the history of it, and as we kind of mentioned, connected with Madison Carter, I actually tried reaching out to a lot of different community historians. I reached out to you, I believe. I wrote letters, I made phone calls to everyone I could find with the last name Young. I wasn't getting anywhere, but finally through Madison was able to connect with Lina, and did an interview with her, and I was really curious because I always heard like that the sauce was a little bit different. And she mentioned she had the recipe, and she asked, Lina asked, would you like to try them? And I was like, hell yeah, of course I want to try them. So she made up a bunch, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, we have to have this as part of our tour. This is a really important story. It's part of who we are as Buffalonians. You go anywhere in the world, people say you're from Buffalo, they're like chicken wings, and it's a part of the character of who we are. It's literally like the biggest cultural export we've ever had in Buffalo. More than the grain silos, more than the Erie Canal, the Pan American Exposition. People know Buffalo. Like the average tourist, they have never heard of the Pan Am. They may not have heard of the Erie Canal, but they've definitely heard of chicken wings, and that is top on their list of things to do. So it's an honor to work with the Young family and bring this recipe back, bring the story back to light, and share it with people. I think it's a really important story, and something that's just been like not acknowledged. And John's place in chicken wing lore, chicken wing history is certainly important, and important to our city and where we are right now. Well, I'm hesitant to take much credit. Lina is really the one who's cooking these wings, and I'm just happy to help, push the story out there. But I think response has been overwhelmingly positive. People are very interested. Most people have not heard this story. Most older black people I've talked to in Buffalo are definitely familiar with it, but the average Buffalonian has not heard of John Young. And so we're really excited I'm thrilled to introduce a new generation to that story, to this recipe, to these wings that are really a part of just Buffalo, as I said. And so, yeah, you go on TripAdvisor, you can read some of the reviews, but some people said they have taken food tours around the world, and this was the most substantive, these are people who live in Buffalo. People have no idea about this history, and to present it in such an interesting way, you're not only just it's not me just telling you about, back in the day there was this chicken wing place, but to be able to taste that recipe, to taste that wings and to hear the firsthand stories of Lina is that's a really special experience. That you could take a ton of different kinds of tours in Buffalo, but this is the only place in Buffalo where you will find Mumbo Wings on the recipe, and it's an honor and a pleasure to help bring that to light. And I think guests really appreciate that opportunity, that special opportunity to savor something and experience something that hasn't been available in a long time. There's one thing I would definitely like to add. If you can, in the description, we are launching a fundraising initiative to create a mural in honor of John Young and celebrate his story. You can put a little hyperlink. I'll send you the link to it, but it's a GoFundMe, and so the money will be used to commission a mural at the site of his most prominent location at Jefferson and Utica. We're still working out a lot of the details, if it will be a landmark sign or if it will be a mural or both of them, but we need community support. It's just me and Lina. we don't, between the two of us, we don't have very much money, a couple of dimes to rub together, but if people want to contribute and be part of that story, you can go to that website and find out more information and be part of it.